Welcome along, guys. Welcome along to the live stream. How's everyone doing? The first things first, before I get started or anything, can anyone know if they can see or even hear me? Would be fantastic because you never know with the technology with this. I'm doing this on my laptop to make it easier. So just let me know if anyone can see or hear me because I'm not seeing anything on the chat yet. Yeah, all good this end. Love and life at Triumph. Brilliant. Christopher, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Brilliant. That's great news. Welcome along, everyone. Welcome to 2019 and all that, and all that jazz. As I don't know if anyone watched TMF's live stream earlier on in the week on there. When was it? Was that Monday? It's Monday. I think it was Monday. Or it could have been last night. Oh, I don't know. I've lost track completely. Early on in the week, anyway. He did a little phone in, and I did a phone in onto TMF's live stream. So perhaps later, TMF, if you're watching, we'll do the same on mine. That's if I run out of stuff to talk about, which is quite likely. So brilliant. Hi, guys. Hi, David. Hi, Ollie. Hi, Lee. Hi, Big Mac. Brilliant. Good to see you all. Welcome along. Welcome along to the stream. Well, believe it or not, it's been, I think it was last October, I actually did one of these live streams, and I promised to do one maybe every month. So every 3 months, I thought when there's something really to talk about, if you do it too often, it may get a bit repetitive. So we thought we'd do it 2 or 3 monthly, maybe a little bit more often than that. We'll see how it goes. So how many we got watching? I can't see with the live thing on your laptop. It's not the proper control panel, so you can't actually tell how many people are watching or anything. But there's a few comments coming in. So hi guys, Sam Turner. Hi Sam, how you doing? Hi, David, evening. Hello from Holland. Blimey. Michigan, USA. Hi Scott. Welcome along. Lee. Some familiar names on there. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining. So I've got a few things to go through. Obviously, I want to handle some of your questions as well. That's the whole point of this, to make this a bit interactive, as it were. So we've got 92 watching. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Mick. Thanks for letting me know that. Yeah, there is a V-Strom here, Lee. So at the moment, so first things first, GSXR, a few people are asking me when's the next build update for the GSXR. Well, the bike is still with Suzuki at the moment. You remember I needed an O-ring replacing on the fuel pump. I could have had it done that day, but they offered me a V-Strom to go blasting around on the salted winter roads on. So I took them up on that. So I've had this for about a month now. I'm going to record a review tomorrow after I've had a good bit of use with it. And then at the end of the month, I take it back to Milton Keynes and I pick up the GSXR, which will then be signed over and paid for and will be mine. So the ride home, I will record that when I pick that up because it will actually be my first ride of it being mine, which I guess means I should sort some insurance out for it as well. Mr. Super, am I missing the Super Duke? Not yet. It's a bit too early because it's been winter. I don't think I will. As soon as I sold it to the guy and I accepted the offer on the bike, I had a massive pang of like seller's regret. Think, oh shit, am I doing the right thing selling this bike? And as it happened, the guy wanted me to actually run it up to him. Roger did and deliver it to him, and the ride up there confirmed exactly why I was getting rid of it, and I was more than happy to hand the keys over. It's a great bike. There was nothing wrong with it, I hasten to add, before the new buyer Roger worries that there was. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just the niggles with it. As I mentioned it all on the video, but the little niggles with a big massive V twin like that. A lot of the niggles I had are resolved with the Super Duke 2. So I should have listened to the advice probably from people at the time saying, get the two, because I probably still have it if I had. But just the little niggles got tiresome. And the GSXR is so smooth, it's so easy to ride and incredibly comfortable as well. So, but yeah, I'm not missing it yet. I'm not sure I will miss it, to be completely honest, fantastic as it was. Will there be another naked, Kevin? Yeah, never say no, never say never, never say never, perhaps one day. So GSXR, maybe finish that update while I'm on it. I do have some exciting bits to go on the GSXR when it comes back. I've got a full titanium system sat here waiting for about 3 weeks now, waiting to fit, and that's from Brock's Performance in the US. I don't know if anyone watches any of Brock's videos, but he does a really good series on dyno tuning their GSXR. They've got their own test mule, as it were, and they've got it to 202 brake horsepower at the back wheel, just really with bolt-on. So and he uses this Predator system on that, and it's very good. So I was eager to try one. So that's coming. So, yes, I know he's yeah, I know he's keen on, but I've been impressed actually. If you watch his videos on some of his tuning, the level of detail he goes into, even so much as changing the air in the tires over to nitrogen and stuff like that. It's a good watch. So check out his YouTube channel and have a look. But there's a really good series on tuning the GSXR on there. Let's go over some of the questions then. Let's get on some of the questions. Someone said here, so do you think you would have as many subs as TMF if you had more time to post more videos? I think, yeah, I mean, I think it does. I think the more videos you post, the more YouTube promotes your channel. I think that's definitely a thing. And because I've got a day job, because I've got this messing about on YouTube, because I've got a family, it's hard for me to commit to do anything more than one a week. At the moment, I've even been slipping on one a week. I'm being a bit naughty. But yeah, I think the more videos you post, the more YouTube then promotes your channel. So I really need to try and make an effort to try and get at least a couple of videos out a week, and that's all I'm going to try and do. Right, traveling plans this year from David. Yeah, I do. I am planning a bit of a tour. Probably on the GSXR. I want to see what that bike's like to tour on compared to the Super Duke. So we're thinking perhaps the Black Forest, actually going down to Germany, staying within the Black Forest area, and then spending a few days just exploring the Black Forest and some of the B500 again, and all those roads around that area, and then blasting back again. So I think that's the plan. There's also talk of a Supermoto trip somewhere. Perhaps what would be great is get the ferry down to Bilbao or Santander and take all the Supermotos to the Pyrenees and spend a few days blasting around all of those switchbacks up and down the Pyrenees on the Supermotos. That would also be fantastic. So two options. The ferry option's expensive if you get in a return trip, so that probably puts it out of the equation, but I suspect it will be the GSXR Germany trip. Speed RS. No, see, I've got a bit of a problem at the moment. I've not been able to borrow any bikes because I've actually bought a new car and I no longer have a tow bar on my new car. So it's really difficult for me to go and pick bikes up. I've actually bought the tow bar. It's behind me there in those boxes, just there. I've bought it. It's awaiting fitting. I've got to get the sort of the bumper sprayed on the car. So it's all got a bit complicated. So I need to sort it out before I can really collect any more bikes. And speaking of collecting bikes, remember we did the A.D. Smith Enduro thing in Wales with Womble? Amazing fun. AD is unbelievable on a bike, and I really enjoyed that. I'm not sure Womble enjoyed it quite as much as I did, but there we go. But we're actually borrowing. KTM, unfortunately, are waiting all their new model range coming in. They don't have any bikes to lend me, which is a pain. But Husky have agreed to lend me a couple of bikes, but not until early March. So there's a bit of a delay with getting on the Enduros. But we're borrowing a 350 four-stroke and also a 250 TPI. I'll say TPI, but the Husky equivalent of the TPI. So we've got those two for a good couple of weeks to go and start doing our Enduro. Looking into it, researching where we can go. I've also got some ultimate add-on stuff for sat-nav and stuff. So see if we can program in some of the off-road lanes and just see what it's all about, this Enduro thing, and try not to hurt ourselves, basically. Let's go back to the questions. What else we got here? Enduro vid was fun. Yeah, it was so funny. That was a great day. It was a mile. It was about 5 hours. I know it was more than that. I think we left at like 5:30 in the morning, got in about 9 at night. It's a hell of a trip. It was North Wales. Oh, I probably wouldn't go that far again. It was a hell of a long day, but it was well worth it. Absolute scream. Am I going to take the KTM on the green lanes? What you mean, the ones on mine? That was the plan. And one of the reasons why I bought an Enduro bike, so I could go off-road as well. It's just too nice and clean and shiny. I don't want to get it dirty now. So I have to borrow someone else's bikes to filthy up and fall off and break. So now I'm being a fool. I should really take that off-road now. I'm just being a silly tart. How do I find the tune at the Hilltop from Adam? Yeah, I know, Hilltop. Oh, that caused some controversy, didn't it, that video? I was impressed, and I'm still impressed with what Hilltop done to my bike. Womble's also now had it put on his Tuono, and he's instantly noticed the improved throttle response and general feel of the bike, and it seems to be much better on fuel, his Tuono. On mine, I've been really happy with it. Once I put the Brox exhaust on, I want to go back to Hilltop to get it dynoed again, just to check the fueling. I know they say it's adaptive, but it can't be that adaptive. So I want to take it back and just get it rechecked. And hopefully I will try and find out some of the AF ratios of the fueling to see exactly how it's running. Because, yeah, you know, I don't know why they don't share that information. I guess it probably doesn't run to the letter as a dedicated tune, their system, but I'm going to go back and we're going to retest it with the Brox on it. You can't get one thing they've built into their software is if the bike doesn't see any speed, i.e. in the front wheel isn't turning, the actual software will play dumb. And because the GSXR speed is fed from the front wheel, I can't even take it to a different dyno center to get it dynoed because the software won't do anything, because it thinks, you know, they say they do it for insurance reasons. So, you know, insurance companies, if your bike gets seized and you haven't informed them, they can't tell when they dyno it. That's their argument behind it, but it also makes it hard to run elsewhere to check what they've done. So I can see why people could perhaps think it's all smoke and mirrors, but actually riding the bike, I can tell you there is a definite improvement. There's definitely more power. That bike went in standard and it was so much better when I rode it home. There we go. So Ask Dyno, it definitely does something. Ah, do we have TMF in the house? Hi, TMF. All good for you, I hope. Let's have a look. Hi, Christopher. If I could buy Beastie back, would I? Yeah, I've been there. If anyone follows me on Instagram, I've been posting up a few pictures of old pictures I've got of Beastie. I've got hundreds and thousands of pictures of Beastie. So occasionally I post up pictures of it, and every time I post a picture of it, people say, "Oh, I thought you'd sold it," or "Oh no, you're missing it already." I miss the idea of having that bike, but I certainly don't miss riding it. It was just too uncomfortable. I'd really like another project. If I had more space, this is just a little single garage. It's you know, if I've got my two own bikes in here and perhaps a bike I'm borrowing, I've got no room for a project. So I'm thinking about building a shed in the back garden at some point and having and building something or restoring something out there, because I've been looking at the trouble with having a load of money set in the bank waiting to buy the GSXR is I've been thinking, what else can I spend it on? And I've been spent a bit too much time on eBay. Always get like this time of year, you just end up looking at what bikes are out there, what bargains there are, what you could buy. And I'm quite fancying, I'd really like a 252 stroke. I used to have a KO1 and a KO1S back in the day and a TZR 250. So I'd really fancy a little two-stroke 250 smoker project, but they're just so expensive, and the parts are so expensive. But I also like the look of the old FZR 1000 X-Up, something like that to do a restoration on. And perhaps those bikes are great, but the brakes are terrible on them, you know. So maybe do a bit of an update, a bit of a twist, to sort of modernize it up a little bit just to improve the brakes and everything, but do a bit of a resto project. So if I can get the shed built, I think it'd be something great to bring to the channel a bit later on. That BMW S1000R against the KTM Duke. Well, the single R 1000R. Yeah, it's a great bike, the 1000R naked, but I've ridden it a couple of times now, and I just a little bit soulless, a little bit too good, lacking character is what I'd say. So out of those two, I'd take the Duke because it's got plenty of character. It may have a few niggles as well, but I think the extra character makes up for any shortcomings on niggles. Kevin, maybe an older bike as a project. Yeah, definitely. That's the plan, I think. I'd love to restore. I'm missing, it's all very well, you know, the GSXR project, that you just bolting bits on, really. You're not really doing much. I fancy getting right in there, taking things apart. I did the valve, the shim clearances on the 500 a couple of weeks ago, and I also did my mate's 701. We up-changed his shims at the weekend, and just getting into the engine. I'd like to really get involved and you know, strip an engine down, send bits away to be bored and polished, and just get things plated. I'd love to go through a bike, completely strip it, ground up build, all restored. That really appeals. And I also think those 80s bikes, they just look like proper bikes. A lot of the modern bikes, you just, you know, but those old 80s, like the X-Ups, also the H1 ZXR 750s, I used to have one of them. And you look at those and you go, that's a proper bike. I must be getting old because that sort of stuff's just appealing now. Okay, Ash, you've got a problem with your quick shifter, your Hilltop quick shifter, have you? Yeah, to be honest with you, send an email to the support guys at Hilltop. They're fantastic, their support. Send them an email. I'm sure they'll help you. yeah, there's so many things it could be. It's impossible to go into here, but definitely send an email to Hilltop. They'll sort you out. Okay, what other questions we've got? So Stuart, I've got a RGV 250 rebuilt after watching Beastie, but have you? Oh, did you message me? Oh, I did. Sorry, I missed that one. I'd love the old banana swinging arm RGV 250. I always used to want one of those. Even the first RGV 250 that came out, one of those is I'll just fancy a two-stroke smoker. Am I going to the TT this year? From James. I don't think so, James. I've got no plans to go to the TT unless I'm invited by someone, perhaps. Don't know, could happen. But I've not made any of my own plans to go there. But you never know with these things. They come out the blue sometimes. You could be saying, "Oh, can you come here next week?" Yeah, okay. So it could happen, but I haven't planned or booked anything. Two smokers the way to go. Yeah, it is. It is. I do fancy a two-stroke. Oh, Space Dad. Hello, Space Dad. Hello, mate. Right, let's just scroll up, see what else we've got here. Yeah, someone said a 1998 KX. I quite fancy maybe something a bit cheaper to do a resto on is maybe an old motocrosser, an old 80s motocross as well, big 500 two-stroke restoration, because they're starting to fetch good money now. Those old 80s motocrossers. Let's have a look. Okay, right. Track days planned. Yes, track days. I have perhaps a couple of track days. I'm definitely doing the Suzuki track day again this year, and I'm going to do more track days this year. I've also probably going to do the Jamie Whittam track training he does at Mallory. That's something that's been mentioned by the powers that be that I might be able to get on. So that would be quite good to actually have some tuition on track. Quite fancy that. But I'm going to do the ARD days at Odium. It's just an airfield riding day, but it's a good bit of fun and it's a good price. But I definitely want to do more track days this year. But I say that every year and it never happens. I also want to do Santa Pod at some point. Get up Santa Pod at the quarter-mile strip and have a bit of fun up there. With perhaps do that as like a meetup. Perhaps have like a lamb chops meetup at Santa Pod, and we'll do some quarter-mile sprints up there. I think that'd be really good fun. That could be a good day out. The days of Castellar. That's right, Philip. Can't beat it, can you? Now, A says, ever wish I'd got the 300 TPI instead of the 500? Yeah, I do a little bit. I do. I've never tried the 300 TPI. I tried the 250, which I really liked. I've yet to try the 300. I want to, and when I do, I might bolt the Supermoto wheels onto it and just see exactly what it's like. I know RJ's got one, and it does look rather splendid. So, yeah, maybe. Bike swap with RJ. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, meet up with RJ, swap the Supermotos over and ride each other's. That could be an idea. RJ, if you're watching, I don't expect you are. Let's have a Colin Lee. So I'm looking at Z1000SX or GSXR 1000F. I've never ridden the Z1000. Kawasaki, I've not borrowed anything from them yet. Only modern Kawasaki I've ridden is the ZX10. It's the ZX10. I've not ridden anything else. Everyone says the Z1000 is really, really good. So this year I've reached out to Kawasaki to see if they will want to lend me anything and work with them. So I'm hoping so. I want to try the new 636 because I think the 600 class is a great class, and for as a road bike, absolutely fantastic. And I really like the look of that. Yeah, and the Hypermotard 950 that will be coming once I get the tow bar sorted. I really want to ride the Hypermotard, and I'm definitely going to ride the Panigale V4 this year. There's the two bikes which are a must want to ride. Have you seen the Retro RR magazine on the way, all about the 80s and 90s sports bike? Yeah, well, there's already that, a practical sports bike. There's already an 80s and 90s retro mag. While I mentioned that, a lot of people saying, obviously PB has gone now as a standalone magazine, but it's going to live on as part of Practical Sports Bike now. So at the end of it, it's sort of a Practical Sports Bike / PB magazine. So there'll be the normal Practical Sports Bike, but then a PB at the end, not the full PB, but all of the good bits from performance bikes, including me. So that's good. Is the V-Strom yours? No, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's just borrowed while they've got my GSXR until I pick it up again. It's actually a great bike. There's a lot of people saying on the Instagram, oh, give me a shovel, I'm going to bury that. All sorts of things. But it's actually a very, very good bike at a brilliant price. You know, if you want something just to haul some miles on in comfort and it's cheap, you can't go far wrong with one of them. Hi, Mr. Chops. Roughly what part of the country am I in? I'm down south near Portsmouth area. So yeah, right on the south coast. Yeah, expat biker. Yeah, the 636 looks great. It does exactly, and I think that would be a great size bike on the road to have some fun on. You don't need 1,000cc bikes really. Everyone thinks they do. Everyone likes the idea of it, including me. But as a road bike, yeah, I think that 636 would be great. Okay. Okay. So how many people we got on that? 'Cause I can't see how many are watching now. Anyone can tell me how many? Oh, 187. Sorry, I do see it at the top. 187. 188 now. Whoa. Brilliant. I'm Spicy 110's uncle. I'm not. He doesn't live far from me, Spicy. He lives on Hayling. I used to live on. I grew up on Hayling Island, so I know Hayling very well. My mum and dad live on Hayling still, so I'm down there a lot. And yeah, I need to meet up with Spicy actually. Again, we were meant to do something, and he had a bad back. His back's better now. Maybe we'll do a little Supermoto swap. I'll have another go on Derek, and he can have a go on the on the 500. Kinetics. Husqvarna is the same as KTM, isn't it? Yeah, it's the same company. Yeah, their bikes are built on the same production line. There are some subtle differences between the two. The Huskies tend to be higher spec, so you'll get the rear suspension's different on the Huskies. You tend to get sort of preload adjustment on the Huskies, where you don't get that on the KTM's. The Huskies tend to have the billet yokes or triples, but the KTM's tend to have the cast stuff. So the Huskies tend to be a higher spec than the KTM's, and they're styled differently, obviously, but they are the same sort of brand. Yeah. Lee Forrester, Lumi's Cafe meetup. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a meetup. I know we did the NEC one last year, but Mr. Fish, I don't know if Mr. Fish is watching. He does a beginning of season meetup at Box Hill, and I think we're talking around the 24th of March, which is a Sunday. And when I know the dates properly, I'll let you know. But yeah, we're gonna try and get up to his meet on the 24th of March at Box Hill, which is Surrey. So yeah, so why not? Let's all meet up and do a meet up for chop stuff as well there. Why not? Do I do my own editing? Yes, David, I do my own editing, which is one of the reasons why I'm only can manage sort of one video a week during sort of peak season. I know I've been slipping a bit at the moment over the winter months, but yeah, I do edit it all myself. It takes me probably a day to edit a video. I tend to do a first cut when the video will be about 40 minutes long, then I'll go back, look at it again, cut bits out, and try and get it between 10 and 15 minutes tops. So there's always a lot of stuff which is cut out just to make it a bit punchy and a bit snappier, you know. But yeah, it takes me about a day to edit a video. It takes quite a long time. Statham Senior. Yeah. Yeah. There is more than a passing similarity between me and Al Fagan. Or I like to think of Sean Connery in his call centre days. So Guy Morton, I bought a new SDR on New Year's Eve. Acro Evo kit is getting put on. Yeah, good idea. Would you recommend air filter upgrade? Well, I've heard good stuff about the Moto Hooligan stuff, but I've used the Rottweiler stuff. My buddy 701, he's just ordered the Rottweiler kit to go on his 701. I had the Rottweiler on my Super Duke with brilliant results on the dyno. I've got a video. Check the video out if you haven't seen it already. But I think it didn't only made a few more brake horsepower at the top, but it's all about the mid range. That it's cleaned up the mid range beautifully and gave it masses of torque from the get-go, and it was fantastic. So I would knowing the Rottweiler, I would recommend Rottweiler, but I'm sure other airbox kits are available. Let's put it that way. MCR rider, mate, at the NEC. I was there. Oh, sorry, you've gone up now. I was just leaving. Oh, I think I did say hello to Yes. I think I remember you. Enjoy your trip. Yes, there is a trip going on with me, TMF, Bruce Smart, Teapot One, which is another great channel. Check him out if you're not already subscribed to him. And also Richie Vida. We're meeting up in the next few weeks. Let's put it that way, because I may have inadvertently let stuff slip I shouldn't have. So we're meeting up and going out for a bit of fun. And the plan is to do, I'd say a dual vlog, but a 4-way vlog with all of us all connected on the intercoms, exploring the countryside on GSs. My first taste of a GS, which you'll have to see what everyone's raving about. But yes, that should be an absolute screamer. I think it could be messy, so that's coming soon. So, okay, David, great question about the editing. Yeah, the editing's a killer. I do. If you're thinking of doing this vlogging stuff, you need to enjoy the editing, because if you don't enjoy the editing, it becomes a complete pain in the ass, because it's a hell of a workload, the editing. Hi Blaze, is that trip going to be messy? Says Mr. Super Juke. Could be. Hopefully not too bad. How long do you need to edit a 10-minute video? Yeah, it's hard to say. It's not so much editing the end result of 10 minutes, it's how much footage you've recorded you have to go through to edit it down to around 10 minutes. That's the tricky thing. So it could be a whole day to produce a 10-minute video. Potentially, it depends how many. If you've got multiple cameras, it's more complex. If it's a dual vlog, you've got audio from 2 people, it's more effort. But yeah, I'm either very slow, or I just like to get it right. But I think YouTube also, if you're doing short videos, I don't think the YouTube engine likes that. It prefers longer videos. So I've done experiments with going sort of 15-minute, 17-minute mark, because a lot of the YouTube analytics works on watch time. So if you've only got a 10-minute video, people normally watch on average sort of 50%. So you've only got a 5-minute retention time. Whereas if you do a 20-minute video, for example, and people watch 50%, you've then got a 10-minute retention. And I think that YouTube then sees that as a better video, because it's got a longer attention, and it then pushes that to more people. But the way YouTube works and the way YouTube promotes people has definitely changed over the last couple of years, and it's a lot harder now to get your videos out there. It seems to be this. It depends on the size of your channel to how far it will push your videos. So the bigger your channel, the more of an audience it pushes it to. If you've got a smaller channel, it pushes it to a few people, sees what the figures are like and the retention and all that, and if they're not very good, it's dead, it kills it. So it's very, very different to how it used to be YouTube now. A lot harder to grow. What's my day job? I'm in IT as a day job. Very boring. I hate it, but it pays the bills, and YouTube and a little bit of writing in performance spikes doesn't. But I'd love, my goal, if this took off more, or they've got some sort of sponsorship or something, would be to drop my day job down to maybe 4 days a week and spend a whole day dedicated to YouTube. Because if you're doing bike reviews, if you've got to go and pick bikes up for manufacturers, you've got to take time out your day to drive up to Suzuki, drive up to KTM. And of course, those places are only open during office hours. You can't go at the weekend. So I've got to take time off work to go and pick a bike up. So that's a morning gone just to fetch a bike and stuff. So it's hard to have the time. Edge, yeah, also meet you in November. I'm also a fellow IT guy. I know your pain. Yeah, it's dull, isn't it? IT is dull. Hang on a sec, just have a drink. Bacardi and Coke. Yeah, IT's dull, and because it's continually evolving and the new technologies coming out, you've got to learn all about them. Rubbish. Right, okay, so what else have I got to tell you about while we're waiting? Brian, all good chops. Yeah, thanks, Brian. So, yes, hang on. I don't have a patron. I don't have a patron and all that. I did think about doing something with patron, and what I'm sort of waiting for, really, to perhaps think of introducing is the what do they call it? Like the membership thing within YouTube. I don't know if you follow 44 Teeth, any of you guys, but they do like a membership thing. I think it's £5 a month to join. They get £3 of that fiver, but then it unlocks other dedicated videos. So I'm thinking of doing, when that is finally available, on my channel, because they're rolling it out slowly. I may do a membership thing and then do a bit more behind the scenes stuff, when I pick bikes up, sort of more live videos on the phone, and perhaps have videos published early to people who join that membership, maybe a week early for videos going live to everybody else and stuff like that. So something I'm thinking about anyway. So Andrew, as a fellow KTM EXC owner, do you also feel it gives you a slightly bigger knob than the other off-roaders? It is that premium brand, isn't it? You can't get away from the experience KTM has off-road. So it's the best. We all know it's the best. Blades, how much horsepower did my 701 make? I can't remember. You have a look at the video, the dyno video, the 701. Yeah, I think it made another 3 or 4 brake at the top, but again, it was all about the mid-range and torque it gives. That's where you get the big gains. Am I going to do more Supermoto videos? Yeah, I will do more Supermoto videos in 2019. I've got more plans for this bike. I want to try and get the suspension sorted, as I mentioned. I've also been looking at Vortex ECUs and stuff. So a few more bits I've got planned for that. And yeah, there'll definitely be some more, probably more garage videos on it, and also some blatting around wheelie videos. Ah, dear. What do I think of the Aprilia? Oh, what's that one? Capanord. I've not heard of that one. Aprilia is life. Yeah, Aprilias make good bikes, Kevin. They really do. I'm not ever ruling out maybe getting a Tuono at some point in the future. I would still like a Tuono, just to tick that box, because it's a great bike, and I do like them very much. I love Womble's one, which he's still got. So I mentioned picking up the Huskies, didn't I? There's another off-roady thing I've got planned, and this is the KTM motocross experience. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been on that. As a few people have done it, but I'm going to go on that at the end of April. The KTM motocross experience. Me and Womble going to get Womble back on an off-roader again, and I think that's at the. I think it's a place in West Sussex, Gold something, I want to say. It's their main site where they do that. But that should be great. Proper motocross track, jumps. What could go wrong? I can't wait for. Yeah, Golding Barn. That's it, biker boy. Golding Barn. So yeah, KTF motocross. So we've done the enduro experience, so the motocross experience makes sense. So we're going to give that a go. So that could be more hilarity from that one. Okay, poor Womble. Yeah, he takes it, doesn't he? He keeps bounces back though. Give him that. He bounces well. I suppose he's not on here actually. He normally joins in. Actually, the next live stream, I'm going to get him on the live stream. So it'll be the two of us. I meant to try and arrange it for this time, but he's sort of 45 minutes away from me, so he's not particularly close. But the next live stream, I'm going to see if we can have both of us on there. So it'll be quite funny. Do I wash my bikes myself? Unfortunately, I do. I don't have a harem of bikini-clad ladies to wash them for me. I wish I did, but yeah, I do a lot of washing myself. I try and avoid riding them in the salty roads, to be perfectly honest. I'm more of a summer biker, always have been. That's why it's nice to borrow something like the V-Strom to get out on. But we've been quite lucky with the weather. I mean, it's been cold, but there's not been that much salt down, and there's not been, we've had a little bit of rain which has washed it away. So the few times I have been out, it's not been too bad for salt and grub and grime on your bike. But the trouble is, if there's salt on the road, it never dries, does it? You have to have a real spell of 2 or 3 days of dry weather for that salt to actually dry out. But yeah, a bit of a pansy when it comes to riding off road in the winter, or even on road. I think off-road is the thing to be doing in the winter. So I've been really tempted to get the enduro wheels out and fit them back on that, but I may do. But I've almost gone too far with it now to stop it back. What does Womble do for a living? He's a professional stuntman. I think so. I can't say what he does. He might not want me to say, but he checks cracks. Let's put it that way. Blaze, I heard the 1290 Super Duke has some problems with front end tire grip feedback. Yeah, someone else mentioned that to me. I think Grizz mentioned he'd heard the feedback wasn't great. The suspension's not brilliant out the box on the 1290. That's why I had it all revalved and resprung with K-Tech, which really improved it. But out the box, it's a bit vague. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So look, when you compare it to something like the Tuono, which is much sharp, obviously, yeah, that's the Tuono with the Öhlins I'm talking about, so it's bound to be. But comparing the two, the Super Duke suspension is not great. And of course, you've not even got any preload adjustment on the KTM Super Duke suspension. So that WP suspension, it's not fantastic. And I think a revalve and a refresh by someone like K-Tech makes a big difference to it. Oh, £5. Love, life, and triumph. Thank you very much for the tank. That is really appreciated. Really appreciated. Thank you. Thank you indeed. David West. It's good at putting down dank wheelies. It is good at putting down dank wheelies. I can't deny that. Oh dear. Right, what else have I got? I've not got that much stuff to talk about here now. How long have we been going on this? 35. But I wanted to keep this to about 45 minutes anyway. So we'll go on a little bit longer. I'm looking at my list here and I think I have covered most of my things here. So any more questions to come through? Can you do more videos with the Super? Yeah, I would like to do more videos with, because I've got a lot of friends with Supermotos. The problem with doing videos with the Supermotos is it gets a bit, there's lots of wheelies involved. There's lots of stuff which isn't particularly YouTube friendly, shall we say. So it's quite difficult, and I'm a little bit paranoid about actually recording those type of antics when before it even makes YouTube, even recording it and going out and people doing wheelies and stuff. Because if something were to happen and the police turned up and they seized cameras, then you've basically incriminated yourself and everyone else you're with. So it's a little bit awkward. So when the Supermotos go out, it can be a bit of silliness involved, so it can make it hard to record. That's why when I've been out, I've done it more on my own with the Supermoto stuff, but I will try and do it. Oh, we've actually got an off-road thing coming up on the Supermotos. Witton Mill, I think Witton Mill, on a Wednesday or Tuesday night, they do like it's a kart track. They open it up for Supermotos, and I've been invited up there. So me and the Supermoto guys are going up there, and we're going to do some spend the afternoon buzzing around the track. I don't know what the format is, whether there's a proper, like groups of people, whether you just go on and dick around. But yeah, so that will definitely be one for the channel, because that's obviously off road. So that's a different story. That's off the public highway. Lee Forrester, YouTube police watching all the time. Yeah, I know. So you've got to be a bit careful. You've got to be a bit careful with that. Did I see something from TMF there? When will I be getting a new hat? Oh, I love this hat, mate. There's nothing wrong with this hat. This hat's coming away with this. I do have another hat, but it's got a bit of branding on it. I'll bring that one for you when we go away. Best first Supermoto to buy. Got a wide budget. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed, Jack. Well, if you've got a wide budget and you don't mind getting your hands dirty, then something like my 500, something like built from an enduro bike, is the ultimate Supermoto. That's the original Supermoto. That's what they race. If you want something more street oriented, which you're not going to be getting your hands dirty and you're in the engine every 5 minutes, something like the 701 or the new 690. It looks very nice, but isn't it expensive? It's like £9,600 for a Supermoto, which puts it £1,000 above the already pricey Husky. So I think they think they've got the pricing wrong on the new 690. But yeah, it'll be great. And I'm going to borrow one when KTM UK have got them. I'm going to borrow one. I know it's got lean sensitive. It's got the lean angle ABS. It's got wheelie control. You don't want a wheelie control. It's a Supermoto, but it's got traction control. I hope it's not tied to the wheelie control, because what's the point of having that on a Supermoto? So we'll see. But I'm a bit dubious about this. I think it's it's more expensive than the 790, which seems crazy to me. But we'll see how good it is. Yeah, Kenny, 701 or 690. I think I've answered that one on the new ones anyway. The old ones are much the same bike. And the old 690 always had the rev counter. You got a few more of the road, pleasures like the rev counter, the gear indicator. But the new 690's got the Husky dash. They've not got any of the extras like a rev counter that the old 690 had. So that's a little bit more disappointing. Biker boy, more crap to go wrong. Well, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I don't want traction control or ABS. I think the ABS would be the only thing I'd want. The lean sensitive ABS, maybe, if it's very good. But yeah, I don't really want any of that, to be perfectly honest. Not on that sort of bike. You don't need, honestly, you don't need any of those aids really, unless you're on the thousands. Even on some of the 600s, are they really necessary? I don't know. For some people, I guess, if it's more of a learner rider, maybe. I don't know. Any word about Norton motorcycles from Ravi? No. I haven't got Norton beating the door down, wanting me to come up and ride their motorcycles, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Sean Bately. Hi, Sean. Do you see yourself doing another garage build chops? Mr. CBR build? Yeah, I don't know if you missed, but just at the start of the stream, I was talking about doing well, I need a space, first of all. So I need another shed or a shed. And perhaps doing a restoration on an 80s bike, but doing maybe some slight tweaks to it, like upgrading the brakes and just improving it. So like an old bike, but with modern touches, so modern brakes, perhaps modern suspension, something like that. So that really does appeal, but it's just space, and of course money is the other thing. But it's space is the big problem. Am I following the bikes in the Dakar? I've not been following the Dakar too much, to be honest. I know the 44 Teeth guys are out there at the moment messing about, but no, I haven't been. It's not one of the things I follow that much, really. Tires, Blaze again. Did you try the Michelin Power RSs? I haven't tried the Michelins. I've tried I think my favourite tyre at the moment is the Bridgestone S21 as a good all-round sports tyre. I tried the Rosso Diablos new Pirellis. They're very good, but I don't think they're quite as good as the S21s. That's my feeling anyway. Do a build series on an old two-stroke. Yeah, I know, Kenny. That would be the plan. But they're so expensive, even to buy a complete rundown old piece of crap. They still cost a fortune. So I'm thinking more FZR 1000, XR, or Genesis, something like that, or the bikes I had when I was younger. That would be quite nice to get something like that again. I'd quite like that. What's my camera and choice of bike filming? That's a good one, that one. This one comes up a lot related to the best cameras and stuff. On the helmet, I like the Hero 4, the GoPro Hero 4. I think that's a great camera. You haven't got big, silly audio boxes to worry about. You just got a small adapter. I've probably got one up here somewhere. I have. There we go. You've only got a little audio adapter like that. You can't really see that, can you? But yeah, the 4 is quite a slim, and that's it. That's everything you need to run the 4. And the picture quality is great. The picture quality is not really any. Well, you only really want 1080p, 60 frames per second. If you start recording much higher than that, your videos get bigger. Your batteries don't last as long. So I find the Hero 4 is perfect for doing audio. But the Hero 7, the new Hero 7, which I also have somewhere, is great as an on-the-bike camera because it's got stabilization, and the stabilization is amazing. I actually bought a gimbal for about 150 quid just before I bought the Hero 7, and I don't need it now. So maybe I'll do a giveaway of the gimbal, because the Hero 7, I mean, even on a really vibey bike like the 500, it copes with that vibration and gives you a smooth image. It's really impressive. It's impressive. Well, how long have we been going? 43 minutes. Oh, we'll try and wrap it up soon. It just goes so quickly when you're doing this. So quickly. Am I still loving the? I am still loving the gigs. I can't wait. I've been without it for about a month, and I'm really missing it now. I really want it back. I've got so much cool stuff to put on it and do the videos. As I mentioned earlier on, I've got the titanium. Weighs nothing, that. I've got the titanium exhaust to go on it. I can't wait to see what it sounds like with that on. I've got the rear sets to go on it. I've got all those other bits I mentioned in the other video sat here. So I'm desperate to get it back now. Great as the V-Strom is, it's not a GSXR replacement. I've got a foot of snow on the Gixxer here. Have you? Whereabouts are you then, Neotrax? Where are you based? You're in Canada or something? How about a Kawasaki GPZ 900R? What, the turbo one? The turbo 900? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Yeah, the GPZ, I don't know, always looked a bit dated, the GPZ. It wasn't one of my favourites back in the day, but I quite like the idea of the turboed one. Sorry, okay, blimey, you're a fair old way away then. Thanks for tuning in. Brian, hi Brian, I just seen your question at the top here. When will you and the vloggers be having a race? Sorry, will you and the vloggers be having a race when you're away in Spain? Who do you think would win? A race to the bar, maybe. That's about the only races which will be going on. We're very sensible people. Let's just put that out there. I know that the impression is that I'm a bit of a hooligan. I'm very sensible. Don't be like that. Hello, Kim. Welcome from Denmark. Did you miss the chat about Performance Bikes magazine? You did miss a little bit about that. I'll just say it again because it comes up quite a lot. PB's gone as a standalone magazine. It was the last issue this month, which is a really good issue. Recommend you buying it. But it's going to go into Practical Sports Bike, so it will live on as part of Practical Sports Bike, which in some ways for me is good because Practical Sports Bike's got a much bigger audience. It's a magazine you can actually find in the shops, which is always a help. So I think it'll be good for me to get me out there to more people. But yeah, it is a real shame that PB is gone because I'm as guilty as anyone else. I stopped buying magazines, but after obviously having that, when I've been contributing to it, you see what a great mag it actually is, and it's still lovely to actually have a mag in your hand and go through and read it. So it is a shame that's gone. It is a shame that's gone, but that's the way things are. Message and Flyer. You're going to Spain with some other YouTube? Yeah, there's a couple of people going to Spain. Some lucky devils. Maybe off to Spain. Maybe rather soon, but yeah, I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I think it's about 15 degrees. Forecast for next week in Spain should be okay. Should be okay. Moonfleet, we've got Moonfleet as well. Hello, welcome. Enjoy Spain. Yeah, I'm really interested in trying the GSs as well. I've never ridden the GS. I'm in that age group for a GS. I do quite like the V-Strom. I think I may end up liking the GS too much. Can it wheelie though? That's the big question. Can it wheelie? We will find out. I think Bruce wants some real wheelie lessons, but I don't like wheeling other people's bikes in case it all goes wrong. So we'll see. Okay, I am going to wrap this up in a minute because I've been babbling on for nearly 50 minutes. Unbelievable. Don't fight the GS, Jason says. Just let it in. Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to like it. But then I think it's an expensive bike, though, isn't it? It's a lot of money. And so I'll be interested to see what it can do over and above the V-Strom, because it's probably £6,000 more expensive than the V-Strom. Is it worth £6,000 extra? I don't know. We will see. Has to wheelie. Yeah, that's right. I want to borrow a polite vest. I was going to buy a polite vest to take as a joke and a white flip front helmet and then go wheeling around on the GS. I may do that in the UK, but I was going to buy a polite vest. They're like 40 quid. I'm not spending 40 quid on a polite vest, amusing as it would be. Okay. Oh, Womble said, all right, Womble, we were talking about you earlier on, mate. Someone asked what you did, and I said you inspect cracks, which is true. Mr. C, I subscribe to PB, have to wait for the new issue. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the issue's like. I know, because also another good thing for me is Chris Newbegins has taken over as the editor for Practical Sports Bikes, and he was that's the guy I know who's the editor for PB, so he's taken over the whole shebang. So I actually put myself out. I said, Chris, if you need anyone to ride some RD500, RG500 restored classics, and they live down my way, neck of the woods, because all those guys are based up in Peterborough. If you need someone local to go and ride these bikes, come and see me. Send me an email. I'll be more than happy to ride some beautifully restored machines, because yeah, getting old, that sort of stuff starts to appeal, doesn't it? Bruce has a polite vest. Bruce does he has the original polite vest. Maybe we should get Bruce to bring his polite vest. And I could try that. Thanks, Brian. Appreciated. Really is appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up, I think. 50 minutes in. It goes so quickly. I will try and do more of these, I think. Oh, Matty, I've just seen you. Yes, Fagan wheelied to 1250 for most of the launch. Yeah, I saw that. I saw he was. Yeah, I know they do wheelie, but I can't wheelie other people's bikes. It's a bit too naughty, isn't it? Hang on, what's this? Stuart Townsend. I've got an RGV 250 and a 98 R1. You could ride for the mag. I'd love to. I'd love to ride them, not just for the mag. I was watching some looking at. I did a little. I was working on a new little outro for the channel today, just with the clips of different stuff I've been up to. And I had the 2004 ZX10 that I rode, and I thought, you know what, I need to ride some older bikes like that, more affordable bikes. I mean, these new bikes are fantastic, aren't they? But not everyone's got 15 grand to splash, you know, including me. So I thought, let's try and borrow some sort of, maybe, you know, say watchers bikes. If you've got a bike, you know, but I don't know, something older blade, whatever, you know, something along the ZX10, the 2004 ZX10 ilk that I rode, something like that, something more affordable. And I'd love to maybe meet up and have a ride on it and do something for YouTube with it, because it'd be nice to just see what the older, and it'd be nice to compare an older bike like that to my GSXR, to see exactly you know, how they compare, and if it's worth spending out on a new bike. And if you don't want all these electronic gizmos, you don't need 200 horsepower. There's plenty of used bikes out there which are probably almost as good, and some of them still look like proper bikes. So yeah, so let me know about that, because I'd be interested. I don't want to say readers rides because someone's already done that. I'll have to think of an equally catchy title for it. Yeah, Stuart. Yeah, message you. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. It'd be fantastic. I've got my mate Dan, who's got an RG 500, which he races, which is it's not a road bike though. So he's been working on it for a couple of years, trying to get it sorted. But I'm waiting that one, because I'd love to have a go at that at some point. I've got an old GS you can borrow. Thanks to EMF. We do need to meet up for some biker scran at some point as well this year. Irish Knacker, come to Island Shops. You can have a trip on my 05 ZX10R. Yeah, that's the sort of bike I'm talking about. I did ride the 04, so that I think it's the same, the 05 and the 04, but exactly, appreciate the offer. But that's the sort of thing, you know, good, honest, those sort of, that time when bikes were just every year, you know, they'd change dramatically and there'd be massive advances in technology. And yeah, I just fancy my first bike, an RGV 125. I had an RGV 125 in my younger years, a little Gamma. That was good. Hi, Grizz. See you there, mate. Right, I'm going to wrap it up now, or I will literally be talking all night. Thanks very, very much for tuning in. Really appreciated. It probably won't be a video this week now, sorry. And then next week I may be busy, so it could be a week and a half until there's a video. I'm going out in the V-Strom tomorrow morning, and I'm going to do a video on that. I'll see if I can get that edited for the end of the week. So there's something going up, and the channel's not sat there static, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate the support and everything. And I'm hoping 2019 is going to be as good, if not better, than 2018, because last year was good. This year, hopefully, things are even more on the up. But it's really appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.